Welcome everyone to the auto rotation tutorial on Microsoft Flight Simulator. This tutorial, we're currently taking off on the default Bell helicopter from Bankstown Airport in Sydney, Australia. Bankstown Airport's one of the most busiest airports in the Southern Hemisphere. It carried about 300,000 operations in 2009 or 2008, so it's a fair bit of traffic. It has numerous passengers, training and charter flights. It's all entertaining. Okay, auto rotation is basically when the engines of a helicopter go out, and we still land the helicopter using various aerodynamic fantasies that happen behind the scenes, or above the scenes, I should say this. Anyway, we'll climb up to 2,000 feet. What's happening is that when the engine gets turned off, the helicopter starts descending, and through the descent, the relative airflow, which goes basically upwards, pushes the rotor blades around, keeping the RPM up high, and you use the RPM when you're coming into land by generating some extra lift using the rotation that's already there. So for this one, we'll climb up to 2,000 feet, and a few key things to watch here is the attitude. So there's positive. So you have proper relative airflow through the rotor blades, and your collective. If your collective is too high, so that means that your pitch is set too high. The pitch on the rotor blade is set too high. Then it means that there'll be too much drag on the rotor blades, and it'll cause your RPM to go down. If your collective is too low and your pitch is too shallow, then there won't be enough rotation generated by the wings. Sorry, just for your interest here, that is a harbour bridge ahead of us there somewhere. Okay, now the main gauge that we need to look at is the one in the middle here, and the little needle with the R is a turbine, and the rotor. The T is a turbine, the R is the RPM, and we need to make sure that the RPM is high enough so we can get some good landing. Okay, we'll just to make it easier, we'll just land in the airport here. So off with the fuel valve switch now, and yep, there we go. That was pretty lucky. I caught the RPM straight away, and the attitude is about straight and level. You'll notice that most of the times you get the same, about 45 to 50 knots in your airspeed. Okay, so basically what we're looking for here is to keep the collective about halfway, so the RPM stays as high as it possibly can. So you'll notice that if I lower the collective now, there we go, the RPM starts to drop. We don't want that to happen. If I increase the collective, the RPM starts to drop then as well, and both those are really bad things, because if the RPM goes off, then you're basically just a brick falling from the sky. And you'll also notice that there's a lot of maneuverability around here, and you can maneuver the helicopter a fair bit. Now in real life, if it's a real engine failure situation, you should be worried, first of all, and you'll need to perform certain checks to get your engine back up and running while still flying the aeroplane. And you'll also need to do other things like you'll need to do other things like briefing the passengers and doing your mayday call so they can identify you and know where you actually landed. Okay, yeah, I'll just turn around so I get we'll probably try to land on the runway, get the full runway length, and try not to go too low on your airspeed. In one of my attempts to make the tutorials before, my airspeed got a bit too low because the paddock was coming to an end, and the RPM dropped because I lowered the collective. Something happened and it ended up in a crash. So keep your RPM up high, and just make sure you have your attitude and your collective set properly. Yeah, you can go a little bit fast like I'm doing now, which it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So I'll just maintain this heading. Here for now, so I can show you how it's done. Okay, so basically you're coming in for a descent, and basically lands like an aeroplane. Coming in, and about there you start to flare. Put some throttle up. You'll notice that the RPM goes down, and yep, and there we go. Okay, I agree that wasn't the best landing, but any landing you can walk away from is a good landing. So basically that's landed, and you'll notice that the blades are slowing down now, and they should come to a stop now, so it proves to you that it's actually off and you just use the momentum to land. Okay, and that's how you do an auto rotation tutorial. Feel free to comment, and if you have any questions I'll be sure to answer them for you. If you want any improvements in the tutorial, I'll certainly be glad to do that. And if you like some multiplayer flight simulation for realistic ATC, join VATSIM, www.vatsim.net. It's really fun, and I learned a lot of stuff through that, so it might be worthwhile for you too. Any questions, just post a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Meanwhile, enjoy auto rotation, take care, and talk to you soon.